the Bhakti Program Manual written by His Holiness Dhanavir Goswami Maharaj. And today we're reading from the chapter, and we're continuing the relevance of the Bhakti Program, chapter 2. We'll read on page number 98. And we're starting from the heading entitled Setting Higher Ashram Standards. So before we begin, I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, unto His Holiness Dhanavir Goswami Maharaj, and unto all the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord. Setting higher ashram standards. Here are 4 ways that the Bhakti program helps bring about higher devotional standards in devotee community ashrams. 1. Logic. Achar prachar. Practice what you preach. Older community members are more inclined to follow strict principles in the presence of newcomers eager to learn. Number 55. I am very pleased to know that your temple is doing nicely and that there are sincere souls trying to understand this Krishna consciousness process. You must always remain very serious and enthusiastic about chanting and hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and set a good example for the new devotees to follow. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Nityananda, November 12, 1971. Very nice. And here, continuing, every member of an ISKCON center shares the responsibility to help the new devotees progress. A devotee recently told me that he chants. Thank you.
Made an appointment for tomorrow at 10:40 a.m. With my doctor prescribed me some.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna need a ride over there. Is it okay?
Well, did you already make the appointment?
I did, yes.
Okay, thank you, bro. Let's talk soon.
Be done in about 40 minutes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you very much. So it says, every member of an ISKCON center shares the responsibility to help the new devotees progress. A devotee recently told me that he chants his most attentive rounds when he is tutoring a new person in that activity. There is a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Similarly, all the devotees in a center or community can play an important role in the upbringing of a new bhakta. Preaching is especially pleasurable when the recipients are thirsty, and nobody is more receptive than the quote, 1 out of 1,000,000 new bhaktas who have come to live with and learn from the devotees. Numbers 56. I am very encouraged to hear how San Diego Center is flourishing under your supervision. The test is that so many new devotees are coming. That is a very good sign. Now you must take care to train them very nicely. They are voluntarily giving their lives to Krishna, so as president, you must see that they are always happy and satisfied in Krishna consciousness. then they will not go away. Your proposals for teaching them our philosophy are very good, but if we try artificially to explain Shastra in our own words, there is every danger of interpretation and speculation. First, the student must be able to repeat exactly the words of the Guru. Then, after some time, he may be qualified to apply the principles he has learned word for word to personal situations. It is not that we are a dry philosophy of dogmas and slogans. No, the language of Krishna consciousness is ever fresh, and we can explain everything by it. Just like my Guru Maharaj once lectured for 3 months on one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. But every precaution must be taken to preserve our basic guiding principles as they are and not change them because we want to hear something new. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Bhaktadas. Number 2, inference. Example is better than precept. Community members are inspired by the high standards of the Bhaktas, and naturally they strive to emulate this example. Number 57. And in this campus, actually those who are eager to advance in Krishna consciousness, they should live, nobody else. But this is specially meant for Bhagavad Bhajan. Attend Arti, early rise in the morning, attend the functions, take prasadam. In this way, everything will be reorganized, not loose things. Room conversation with Srila Prabhupada, January 7th, 1977. Sometimes devotees in all ashrams become lax in their performance of devotional service. They may begin to miss morning or evening temple programs or cease participating in Harinam chanting and book distribution. Cleanliness, austerity, and other personal practices also may sag. The new bhaktas, by their behavior, gently remind everyone about the merit of careful devotional practices. Number 58. I'm glad to note that your Amsterdam center is improving and that new devotees are joining. Example is better than precept. So you follow the regulative principles, chant 16 rounds daily, attend morning and evening arti, and as much as possible go for Sankirtan, distributing my books. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Hari Krishna, February 2nd, 1975. 3. Direct perception. Call a spade a spade. If the standards of certain individuals or the collective community is significantly non-conducive for training new devotees, the Bhakti director should address the issues by discreetly speaking to the individuals, discussing the problem with center authorities, or expressing his concerns at the community Ishtagoshti. 59. Because you are making so many new devotees and distributing so many books and magazines, I can understand that your routine work is being kept to the highest standard and that preaching work is going on well. This I can very much appreciate. Now, never let it slacken or neglect our regular program. And always you will be successful in spreading the sublime movement of Lord Chaitanya's, and very soon you will yourself approach the supreme perfection of life. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Bhakta Das, February 21st, 1972. Assimilation. Number 4. Child is the father of man. New Bhaktas graduate and enter the community, taking their accumulating training with them. These Bhaktas become members of all 4 ashrams and will serve in all temple departments. They will assume positions of responsibility and leadership, and the training they receive in their early days will shine forth to help raise the standards for those working under their direction and for everyone with whom they associate. Heading: An ideal engagement for staff. Bhakta/Bhaktin program directors and assistant directors must basically follow the same program as the new Bhaktas. Number 60. I am very encouraged that so many new boys and girls are coming forward to join our Hare Krishna movement. That is a good sign that you are advancing very nicely in Krishna's service. In this way, go on. Krishna life is the very highest type of activity of the living entity, the topmost development of consciousness. So I am very much appreciating that you are becoming yourself Krishna consciousness and that you are helping me in this way. Thank you very much. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Makhan Lal, January 10, 1972. This ensures a regulated schedule full of hearing and chanting in the association of devotees. Since the staff provides extensive instruction to new devotees and candidates, they must be well read in Srila Prabhupada's books. They should study the books at least 1 to 2 hours daily. 63. Pardon me, 61. Now you are 7 devotees there, so please see that everything is done regularly and strictly to the standard devotional practice. Our literatures are guiding you in your successful prosecution of Krishna consciousness. So follow these instructions of mine implicitly, and your perfection of life in Krishna's service is guaranteed, and you will have the spiritual strength for attracting and training others in this bhakti cult. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Janani Vas, September 29, 1970. Wow. Study techniques. Devotees often ask for suggestions on study methods and techniques. Several senior Bhakti directors have adopted study systems that also may prove helpful to others. Directing a Bhakti program fosters strong spiritual principles and is an attractive service for those interested in approaching renunciation. 62. Everyone is eligible to become Krishna's devotee. One simply has to be trained according to the approved process. It is the work of Krishna's confidential devotees to turn everyone into a Krishna Bhakta. If the confidential devotees do not take up the task of elevating everyone to Krishna consciousness, then who will do it? Those who claim to be devotees but do not engage in Krishna's service to elevate all living creatures to Krishna consciousness are to be considered Kanishta Adhikaris. Ooh. People in the lowest stage of devotional service. When one rises to the second platform of devotional service, his business is to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Those who are active in the Krishna consciousness movement should not remain in the neophyte stage, but should rise to the platform of preachers, the second platform of devotional service. Devotional service is so enchanting that even the first class devotees, Uttama Adhikaris, also come down to the second platform to preach and render service to the Lord for the benefit of the whole world. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 24.205 purport. The proof of this is that many present-day ISKCON sannyasis were formerly Bhakta leaders. Bhakta program staff members, while positively engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness, remain somewhat insulated from the demands of taxing temple management issues such as finances, legalities, and media. 63. The preaching work you are doing is very good. Continue this program enthusiastically and increase your number of company. You have to create devotees by your preaching work and train them according to your needs. Krishna has given you and your companions a very nice responsibility. Srila Prabhupada letter from Srila Prabhupada to Lokanath, December 14, 1976. Heading: Improving the Sunday Feast. The following testimony perfectly illustrates how new devotees look forward to the Sunday love feasts. Quote, I didn't know anything about these feasts. Of course, all week long people had been telling me, this ain't nothing. Wait till Sunday. When I walked into the feast, I finally realized that I had made it into the other world. There was this big table that you walked around, just filling your plate up with whatever you wanted. There were about 15 different courses, none of them familiar. There was sweet rice, pure white and cold, with little lumps in it, like half-frozen ice cream. There was a whole plastic barrel full of some round spongy balls floating in a golden juice that resembled thin honey. There were other round sweet balls piled up on trays and little breaded vegetable preparations, jubilant looking salad, round slices of bread coated with shining ghee, various types of pastries, and gigantic potato chips that were almost a foot in diameter. All of these had wonderful exotic names, just like all the devotees, which I couldn't catch on to, no matter how many times they repeated them. Burfi, sangosa, puri, gulab chutney, malpura, pakora, lugdu, as well as rosewater and simply wonderfuls. I was in ecstasy just looking at all the new strange shapes and smelling the incredible aromas. But when I sat down and began to eat, it was a whole other story. I had never been so excited, actually thrilled, simply by eating something. Every preparation was better than anything I had ever tasted in my life. I had been absorbed in the breakfast and lunch program all week long, but now I realized why everyone had kept telling me about the Sunday feast. I quickly finished off my entire heaping plate and went back for seconds, then thirds, and fourths. I stopped counting after a while. I just couldn't get tired of anything. I ate at least 4 times more than the biggest meal I had ever had. I couldn't understand what had come over me. Factually, I had never seen anyone as much as I did at that feast. An experience like that is not to be forgotten. Starting on Tuesday, I began to count the number of days until the next feast. Bridge Bussy Spirit, May 1994, Taru Das. The opulent prasadam preparations, the festive atmosphere, the big ecstatic kirtans, the guests, and perhaps some entertainment provide such an exciting setting for new devotees that they anticipate the Sunday feast with great relish. Number 64. You mentioned that you are fixing up your temple for nice love feast program, and this is sent percent approved by me. Try to have very nice love feasts because here in Los Angeles they are constantly attracting more and more members to join them, and the love feast program is one of the very strong attracting influences. This program of offering grand scale quantities of prasadam amongst the general people was encouraged by Lord Chaitanya because if someone partakes of the remnants of offerings to Lord Krishna, then he is sure to come back to Krishna consciousness again at one time or another. So propagate our process of Sankirtan, sumptuous love feasts, and reading literatures of Krishna consciousness, and surely many persons will be attracted to join this sublime movement. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Pradyumna, July 15, 1969. As parents delight in seeing their offspring enjoy at a zoo or amusement park, older devotees delight in seeing new devotees enjoy the Sunday feast. Subheading: Many Hands, Light Work. The Bhakti program helps the Sunday feast by providing more hands in the kitchen for cutting up vegetables, rolling puris, filling samosas, and serving out. New bhaktas gladly help decorate temple grounds, host guests, act in plays, and even clean up afterwards. Because they simply love the Sunday feast, they'll be on time for the full agenda, arti, lecture, and dancing in kirtan. When the guests see people enjoying themselves, they also enjoy. Guests come because they like to take prasadam, chant, and associate with the devotees of the Lord in a joyous atmosphere. The new bhaktas' bright faces and shining heads are a sign that the process of Krishna consciousness is working and that the movement is alive and well. Temple supporters and members appreciate that the temple is nicely training new devotees in the principles of Vaishnavism, and thus they feel confident to donate for maintaining the institution. Srila Prabhupada took his, quote, dancing white elephants, i.e., his American and European disciples, to India and impressed the whole Indian subcontinent with the potency of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. He showed the Indians that the young Westerners who had everything materially desirable gave it up and adopted Krishna consciousness, and so should they. And now they are doing likewise. Subheading: Guess who's coming to dinner? New devotees may have friends and relatives interested in visiting them, and the Sunday feast is the perfect time for this. At the feast, new bhaktas and older devotees can present their Krishna conscious realizations to the guests. Also, new devotees can introduce their guests to senior mature devotees, and their guests can become favorably impressed by Krishna conscious personalities. During the entire week, the new bhaktas have been out chanting on Harinam, distributing books, and passing out thousands of Sunday feast invitations. As a result, feast attendance increases, Excitement mounts, and the new bhaktas watch for guests that they invited, eager to meet them again. Number 65. On Love Feast Day, supply them Krishna Prasadam. Invite some prominent gentleman to preside over, to become our chief guest. And in this way, make propaganda and put signboards all through the street with electric light. Make the gardens very nicely. This is service. Now you have got the chance to serve. Do it. Here is a chance. Lecture by Srila Prabhupada, December 6, 1968, Los Angeles. Heading: Counteracting Anti-Cult Propaganda. Since the 1970s, antagonists to new religious groups have formed, quote, anti-cult organizations in many countries of the world. Pardon me. Anti-cultists have lumped in ISKCON as a destructive cult, and they've adopted a policy to condemn practically everything connected with the Hare Krishna movement. They criticize celibacy, vegetarianism, rising early, reincarnation, the Vedic scriptures of India, book distribution, etc. They stress the misbehavior of some former members, accuse the movement of worshiping idols, brainwashing its members, breaking up families, etc. Ad infinitum. Number 66. You have voluntarily joined, so don't be disappointed. There is now opposition, but don't be disappointed. Krishna will give you protection. Try to go on with this Pada Upakar movement because maybe maybe because it is a fight against atheism, so some of our soldiers may fall down, but that should not discourage us. We must go on fighting with this atheistic civilization and try to push this Krishna consciousness movement. Lecture by Srila Prabhupada, February 4th, 1977, Calcutta. The Bhakti program helps to counteract their efforts because new Bhaktas are thinkers, not dullards. Over 70% of participants in the Bhakti programs in the United States have attended college. Some devotees have hailed from very educated and influential lineages, which also gradually become favorable to the Hare Krishna movement. Number 67. Rameshwar. Break. Numbers of men, big temples. It is all due to our books, to your books. So I was thinking that if one day this Krishna consciousness movement becomes so powerful that even it is giving instruction to governments, that will also be because of Prabhupada. That is very easy. If you increase the number of your devotees, government hears you. That is not a very difficult thing. Morning Walk with Srila Prabhupada, June 5th, 1976, Los Angeles. Thank you very much. I'll be taking a short break and I'll resume after a few minutes. Thank you.